Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome in if this is your first time here. My name is Paul. I'm a professional game master and personal chef based out of Denver, Colorado. I do a series here of developer diaries that follow my progress as I write and put together a world setting for tabletop role-playing games. And I also do a series called Pop Culture Character Sheets, making character sheets for figures from pop culture. I am doing something that's a little bit different today. I have something like a little bit of a mini tangent or rant to go on. So this will be a shorter video than some that I've done in the past, but I think it's something that it's important and has really been kind of on my mind the last couple of days. I had a potential player, talking to me about potentially joining one of my online games. And they said they'd been watching some actual plays on YouTube and had wanted to try it out. But ultimately, as we were talking, ultimately they decided not to sign up to be a player because they said they didn't have a costume and can't do a voice. And that kind of broke my heart a little bit. I tried to reassure them that, at my tables, anybody is welcome, and I encourage my players to role play only to the level that they are comfortable with. If they want to do a voice, they absolutely can, but it's not necessary. They don't have to even speak in their character's voice if they don't want to. They can say, I think my character would do or say this, and then they can just kind of narrate if they feel more comfortable doing it that way. I welcome all styles of play. Despite me trying to reassure them, they decided not to sign up for a game, which is absolutely their prerogative. I respect that. However, like I said, it's kind of heartbreaking to me because I think the distinction is not being made in the community between actual plays versus performances by professionals. And when we call it an actual play, but it involves people who have had hundreds, if not thousands, of hours of experience at this activity, we are watching people who are incredibly good at it, and it becomes a performance and is not actually reflective of the experience that most players are going to have at the table. Most players, when they come to a table, are not going to have a cast of professional voice actors and improv comedians. They are not going to have custom made artwork for their characters. These kinds of distinctions are important. And I want to be very clear. I fully support these channels. Please, any of the channels you see, go and watch them. Go and support them, please, because they are really, really good. They're wonderful stories and they are great performances. I think that's the important thing, though, is that we're not calling them performances. We are calling them actual plays. And I don't think that's what they should be called. Because if someone new to the hobby watches this and they start to think, well, if I don't have a costume, if I can't do a fun voice for my character like these people are, does that mean that I'm not actually playing? And I think that's what some people are experiencing. That player I mentioned earlier was feeling that, where they thought, well, I've been watching all these things, and despite someone telling me that it's not necessary, it still feels like if that's an actual play, I don't know if I can live up to that. And that's hard. That is hard. I think it's a big difference too between. And I pulled up this with video games. I'm a big Souls game player. I really love all the FromSoft series. This channel here, Courtney 2, they're playing through the original Dark Souls, first time playing, and kind of sometimes we'll be going in the wrong direction, sometimes not really sure if she's going in the right direction, and that is super entertaining to watch. Because it's well edited, you can kind of cut out the filler bits. If you're not sure you're doing with your inventory screen, or if you're talking, if you're just kind of running around in circles while you're figuring out which direction you're supposed to go or whatever, um, you can cut those bits out and still show something that is indicative of someone experiencing it for the first time. Uh, if someone were to be considering going through Dark Souls and the only experience they have is watching Lobos Jr. play, or Lobos Jr. is a professional gamer and has done all sorts of challenge runs on Dark Souls, is amazing at it. But if that's your only experience, you'd be like, wow, I don't know if I can play at that level. So I just, I don't know if I should. You know, there are going to be those people out there that feel that way. And so I think it's just a really important distinction that we should make between calling something an actual play and calling something a performance. Now, I'm not saying the performances are not actually playing the game. They absolutely are actually playing the game. Uh, but I think we need to like really make that a note of like importance. You know, when someone is watching this, that like these people are professionals and this is not indicative of an actual game experience. I could be completely off base here. I absolutely could be. This is just kind of my feelings on the matter, especially after having someone tell me just flat out, like I don't feel comfortable because I don't think I can live up to this. And like maybe is that a failure on my part to not express to them clearly enough that like, oh no, that's not necessary, even though I said just that, you know? I don't know. It could be. It could absolutely be. I'm willing to say that like maybe I'm wrong here, you know. But yeah, if you are new to the hobby, I think that you should maybe do a little bit of digging and find other channels that are maybe showing a little bit more of that like fumbly amateur-ish side of things. You know, I'm not saying you shouldn't watch these. Again, go and watch them because it'll give you a good example of how the game is run and how it works and what it could potentially be like. Same thing if you are watching a Lobos Jr. video, which again, please do. Go watch Lobos, go watch Courtney too. Great channels. But fully realize what you are watching. You know, be aware of the media that you're consuming. Maybe this is what it comes down to is media literacy, right? That like you need to be aware that what you are watching is a performance. What you are watching is a professional with years of experience versus what you yourself might be bringing to the table. And I think you should always try to like just try it, you know, just try it. If it truly is something that you're not comfortable with, then I understand and I will absolutely respect that. But don't not try something because you're intimidated by a professional. You know, it's like if someone's only experience is watching Gordon Ramsay or whatever other professional chefs out there, and then they start thinking like, well, I can't cook to that level, so I'm just gonna order takeout because I can't make food like that for myself. Well, then you're never really gonna like step into the kitchen and start to try new things and build those skills if you allow yourself to be intimidated away from it, you know. So embrace the awkwardness, embrace the filler bits, embrace the bits where people don't quite know the rules, where they don't really quite know what they're doing, because those are the experiences that are happening at real tables. You know, most tables are people that are, you know, they might try an accent, but it's probably not. It might not last for forever, or you know, they might wear elf ears or a dwarf beard or something like that to really kind of embrace their character, but they're not in full costume. They're not, you know, professionally made up or whatever else. So, so yeah. Please just find a table that will welcome you. There are tons out there. Uh, TTRPG, the TTRPG community is very welcoming. It really, really is. And whether you are super comfortable doing voices and costumes or whether you're not, everyone should have a place at a table somewhere, you know. And I don't like to see people that feel chased off or intimidated because they don't think they can live up to something, you know. We shouldn't have those expectations of each other. So um, thank you for listening to my rant. Like I said, it's just like something that's been kind of on my mind and something that I wanted to talk about. I'm gonna make myself big here. So thank you for listening to my little rant. Comment if you have any thoughts on the subject. I would love to discuss and kind of talk to people about this. Uh, but um, but yeah, that's kind of all I had for you today. Let me know down below if you want to join any of my games. I would welcome anyone that wants to come and join my game. I have some links down below. If you are in the Denver area, I also do something called Dinners and Dragons, which is a medieval themed meal and then a one-shot adventure afterwards, right there in your home. So yeah, that's something that I do as well. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we will talk to you next time. All right, bye bye.